Hi, I'm James Saleh, Director of Special Projects at my carrier, and I'd like to ask you a question. Have you ever seen one of these on your shipping manager's wall? Or maybe one that looked like this, or this? If you have, then your company's definitely overspending on freight. I know what you're thinking. I don't pay the freight charges, my customers do. And you're correct. Your customers are the one paying for the shipment and the product and comparing your all-in costs to your competitors. The same thing is true on the other end of that though. You have your freight costs built into your product costs and are charging more because of a system that works well about 70% of the time. Let me explain. These are known as routing guides. They're used in high production facilities that don't have the time to quote 10 different carriers for every shipment. This manual quoting process can take hours every day, and there are ways to make better use of their time. So, as a shipping manager, what do I do instead? Well, I spend weeks running my average product to all major markets and then identify the cheapest carrier going to each one. I tag those carriers on a map, and now I have a routing guide that tells me who to ship with depending on the state or region. This can be an amazing time saver. The average time it takes to run a quote is about 1.5 minutes per website. Times 10 websites, times however many shipments you have. It really adds up. Compare that to looking at a map on a wall to determine what carrier to use. All of that sounds great, but here's the problem. The carrier may be the cheapest to the overall market, but they may not be the most cost-effective for every surrounding minor market that wasn't accounted for. Recently, we provided a freight spend analysis for a business using a routing guide for all 2,000 of their locations. They believed that it was the most efficient way to route the freight with the most minimal oversight needed. They asked us to perform a cost analysis based on their current pricing over a 4-week period, and during that time period, they overspent by $60,000. It turns out that routing guides are effective about 70% of the time, but that other 30% can cost you in the long run. So, how can you ensure that you're getting the best rate 100% of the time? Rather than using a wall map that's only effective some of the time, your shipping manager can log into the My Carrier platform and request rates across all your carriers in just a few seconds in one view, and quickly determine who has the lowest rate and fastest transit time. Live rating is not only much faster and easier than using an old-fashioned routing guide, but it can save your company substantial amounts of money as well. Oh, and the business I mentioned earlier that was using routing guides at all locations, they're now using My Carrier TMS and are saving thousands of dollars per month with live rating. So if you see this in your warehouse, it's time to take it down and start using this instead.